your soul. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal.
Cause the devil is a lie. Hey. Chris Colbert, you a lie. Hey. Have fun, man, with no fans at your fight this week, man. They're going to be on you this week at the fight, man. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, we go live on Barbershop Conversations Live, not on this channel. You know what I mean? This channel is fully back restored, so we can anticipate more Patreon videos and all that. Those strikes are gone, so I was kind of hindered in what I could and couldn't do. So now we're back. And Google Barbershop Conversations Live, and do not forget July 10th. July 10th. Let me pull it up right now. Right now, let me pull up the share, because I was gonna share this anyway. So July 10th, before I get into what y'all came here for, let's go here. God, I wish I could show y'all the screener, but yeah, here's what we got. July 10th in Inglewood, California. We got backpacks, free haircuts. We're going to have close to 200 backpacks, y'all. Can y'all show up and get these backpacks, man? Come and get these haircuts, man. Come and have a good time. We got a self-defense class going on in the back for kids. We're going to have, snacks and stuff like that. So come hang out, man. We're going to have a great playlist. That's a show joke, man. But anyways, man, feel free to come on out. And thank you guys in advance for coming out, man. Let's support these kids, man, and build this community together, man. At the end of the day, that's why we are here. So Errol Spence chimes in. I posted, you guys gonna have to squeeze in, but maybe if I do it like this, y'all can see it. Someone tag Chris Colbert and tell him to bet me $5,000 that Spence beats Pacquiao. All right. And the offer still stands. Chris Colbert, I know you probably on a plane right now on your way to LA. Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, he should be landing today. I want that bet. I really, really want that bet, man. So make sure y'all reach out to Chris Colbert. I really want that bet. And Errol Spence doubles down, and he responded to what Chris Colbert said. Chris Colbert said he's flat-footed. Manny Pacquiao gonna beat him, etc., etc. Errol Spence responds, quote, he said Kell Brook and Chris Algieri was gonna beat me too. Smiley face, laughy face, crying laughy face. He's fighting in Cali because he's boring, and they got to put his ass somewhere. End quote. Now I'll say this, Chris Colbert, man, as I watched that interview, it wasn't for me the fact that you picked Errol Spence, you did not pick Errol Spence, or you did not pick Deontay Wilder. It was in the manner in which you did it. It looked like you were being vindictive. It felt like you were being like counterproductive, and you had malice in what you were saying, and it was done disingenuously, and I think it's important, especially, and I'm gonna say this, I'm uncertain if he had, he said he doesn't have a relationship with Mark Breland, etc., etc. But I think that Wilder fight is important, and I think it's a fight where it unifies. Not that we win or lose. Think about this from the bigger perspective. It's a fight that unifies the energies of Black people as it pertains to boxing. And for one time, we get to just unify, and regardless if Wilder was a bad person, good person, whatever the case, it's the few times in where sports, well, I shouldn't say the one time, but where it's on the main stage and it's very palpable, the tensions, the racial tensions between Wilder and Fury. And I want to bring this all the way home, man. So in his interview, he was saying Wilder's making excuses. He's this, he's that. That's disgusting to even have that thought, because he's picking Fury to beat him because he believes Deontay Wilder doesn't have great character and he's a liar. Well, he doesn't. Well, this is why you have to speak from a space of knowing. And I always say this on my show. I don't know, So I will only speak on what I do know. I need to do more research. The example I gave yesterday was with ozone. I don't know the full story on it, so I'm not going to speak on that. But what I will speak on is Tyson Fury's history. Tyson Fury intentionally walked into a ring with a cut off thumb from the glove so he can thumb his opponent. That's not done by accident because his trainer has to put the gloves on. 2 times he's been suspended by the UK governing body for boxing. His license has been taken away from him. He's been popped for steroids. The guy that he said lied and said he got boar meat. No, it was actually not steroids, but performance enhancing drugs. I can't recall what it was, but I think the bigger picture is you can't go against Wilder for being an immoral person when this man went into the ring with performance enhancing in his body, attempting to win, and ultimately it could have cost that man his life, right? Isn't that what boxers say? Every time they walk into the ring, they putting their lives on the line. Well, when you walk into the ring with the performance enhancing drugs, you have ill regard for one, for humanity, and two, for that man's life that you're going up against, and women's lives as well. So I think this deserves full context when you speak of I'm not rooting for Wilder because of this. Well, you're going for Tyson Fury. I mean, he cheated in practice. Someone said that yesterday. It made so much sense. He cheated in practice. He put an egg weight in his boxing glove and was caught. He took the padding out of his gloves and was caught by his sparring partner, by more than one sparring partner. It sounded like Arbery was talking about 3 fighters in that conversation. One was actually, I think, sponsored or allies with Anthony Joshua. So there's connections to this story that can validate his claims. So we got to understand the bigger picture, man, and don't fall into the trap where race is not about race. It's always about race, man. It's always about race. They call your black ass lazy because you don't work for free anymore. Put that in context. Black people are lazy. No, we want to get paid for our work now. It's not by accident. So you know what they did? They brought in a lower class. We're gonna open up. We're gonna close the border. Wink, wink. But we're gonna let these immigrants in because we need a slave. We need a slave laboring force. They never gonna bother us. We done told them that government is basically destroying them. So we're gonna let them come in here. We're gonna pay them minimum wage, and they never gonna ask for a raise because they just happy to be here. It's always about race. Always about race. And that's what we got to understand as it pertains to Wilder and Fury. You can't go for a man that basically said he was going to do something and a man that actually did it. And where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, DJ came in the shop yesterday and made some great points. Shout out to DJ. He says, what you're not understanding is, you said Deontay Wilder fired Mark Breland because he's black. Well, he hired a black trainer to replace him. And when you think of Jay Diaz, you also got to understand Jay Diaz invested in Deontay Wilder when he hopped off that truck. So their relationship extends far beyond boxing. And just to give you what Deontay Wilder said, and feel free to go watch that interview that we did 8 months ago, I believe. He said he reamed into JD's and he deemed him inexperienced to do that. So what he did, he went and got a more experienced person to check the gloves. So you got to tell the whole story as it pertains to that, as it pertains to Wilder, and even more disgusting things he said about Malik Scott. There are not many world championship trainers out there, for real, for real. There are more non-championship trainers training fighters than anything else. You only see the championship fighters on TV, but when you go into these gyms every day, It's people who actually study boxing like you studied for your degree in college. Like Chris Colbert, like how you study the logistics to open up your restaurant. You don't come from I'm assuming, I'm guesstimating, I'm making a hypothesis. How about that's a better word? As it pertains to restaurant lineage in your family. I've never heard you mention that your mom and dad, auntie, uncle, grandfather owned a restaurant. So you don't have a history of, you're not a world champion you're not a mogul at the restaurant business. But you decided, say, I want to open up a restaurant. More power to you. And I think we have a lot of black people in our community that always want to go against the grain because it's their rite of passage. Some moments we got to unify. And when other people are fighting against racism, you also got to understand that it may not impact you directly, visually, physically, but it's going to impact someone you love. And Deontay Wilder said something. He says, I want to speak on this to make sure it doesn't happen to someone else. And we got to start listening, man. We got to start listening, because they don't cheat like they do. They don't just fix the fights like they do, man. They bring in judges. You know what I mean? They put in weight clauses on the contract. They fly you in the day before the weigh-in as opposed to bring you in on Tuesday. Uh they give you less tickets and make you focus on why I'm not getting enough tickets. They beat you up in these type of ways now. Instead of having a 12-week camp, they give you the contract 8 weeks and only give you 8 weeks to start training for the fight, whereas your opponent had 12 weeks to prepare for the fight. There's so many different ways where they do things to set fights up, and we have to be cognizant of that. And I think this fight is a big picture fight, and it's important. I think it's important that Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder win this summer. It's important. And so many people don't get that. It affects your bottom line if Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence. If you're an undercard fighter, do you want Errol Spence to win or Manny Pacquiao to win? Manny Pacquiao ain't going to fight for 18 months. Errol Spence is going to fight in 5 to 6 months. You got a chance to be on his undercard. Think about that. Or your friend of a friend of a friend has a chance to fight on his undercard. You know what I mean? If Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder, you know what that does for boxing in America? So let's start looking at the big picture. And even if you say, I don't want to root for the American, man, because you're afraid to say I'm rooting for the black fighter. So say you're rooting for the American. We'll mask it and just accept it, you know. And I think these are moments where we just got to say, you know what? I don't care if you're a Christian, Catholic, Muslim. I don't care if we disagree on economics. I don't care if we disagree on Republican and Democrat. I don't care if you're dating a white woman, a white man, Mexican man, white man, Asian woman, and the list, Indian, vice versa. This is a space where we got to unify. You know what I mean? I just think it's important. You know, and the last time I felt this in boxing, and this is sad that he doesn't extend the same courtesy, was with Andre Ward and Kovalev. It was palpable. I got a strike on my channel for telling the truth about racism during that fight. And Andre Ward told us he didn't ask us for his support. He didn't ask us to support him. And I still haven't watched that interview to this day. You know, and I think Andre Ward should know that this fight is similar in terms of race. And he won't, you know, man, anyways, man, just let them guys go fishing in Greenland, man. Go catch a red snapper. Sometimes I wish we can put all the people that are not great for our community. I didn't say people you disagree with. People who are not great. They out here killing and robbing folks. And man, we just ship their ass to Greenland, man, and just drop them off there with no means of transportation to get back, man, and just have them, you know, man, just set them up, man, and make sure you give them cable TV so they can see how great we're living over here. You know, man, Greenland is an underpopulated place, man. Go have fun. Iceland, go, or the middle of Canada, just go. You know what I mean? But anyways, man, that's just what I feel. Barbershop conversation, man. You guys today is the first day where my channel is free and clear. So anticipate more Patreon videos. And July 10th, man, come out and support these kids, man. Come out, drive out, man. It's from 11 to 12. Come have a great time with us, and we're going to rock out. So Barbershop Conversation. I see you guys tonight on Barbershop Conversations Live. We have Ernesto Rodriguez, the former unified trainer, championship trainer, Ernesto Rodriguez of Jared Hurd, and so that should be fun. So tonight we're gonna rock out, and we should have a good time. Stand up DMV, man. You got one of your own coming in tonight. So Barbershop Conversations. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.